Welcome to the official Tennis.com podcast, featuring professional coach and community leader, Kamau Murray.
Welcome to the Tennis.com podcast. I'm your host, Kamau Murray, and we are here with the man, the myth, the legend, David Witt.
How you doing?
Good, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
So you're one of the guys that when I look in your eyes, either after a win or after a loss, on my side, I know you know what I'm feeling.
We're thinking the same thing.
We're thinking the same thing.
We can't say it out loud, but we're thinking the same thing.
And then we see each other at the bar and it's like, holy shit. It's just sharing each other's pain. So you had the chance to work alongside Richard Williams and be coaching over multiple decades. So since this is the year of King Richard, what was it like to work alongside Richard Williams? Because you got famous tennis parents, big personalities. You got Coco's dad now. You got Vintage dad. You got a bunch of parents. What was Richard like to work alongside?
He was great. I mean, we always got along. He was respectful. We kind of both did our own thing, but he was funny. I heard stories that he'd tell me just every day waking up. He'd be tired and this and that, but he'd always have a story. And just being at the tournament, just seeing how he was a superstar. People want his autograph, and he'd be talking to people and super nice around the courts and everything. But it was fun.
Did he let you drive the ship, or was he kind of like the captain and you were like, hey, by the way, we should be thinking about this?
I'm not really one that needs to drive the ship. It's just like kind of laid back, and I'd throw my 2 cents in there here and there, and I always see myself as a coach, so I was hitting for X amount of years and kind of throwing my 2 cents in, and he was kind of running the ship, and we're gonna do this drill and we're gonna do that drill, and then every once in a while Venus is like, I don't want to do that drill, and I'm like, all right, I guess we're not doing that drill.
Right.
But I think it kind of eventually got to the point where he wasn't traveling as much, and I kind of took more of a role of that coaching and taking over practices and stuff. But it was good stuff.
Now, I've had the opportunity to coach a player when she was 22 and now she's 29, right? And it's very different. 22, you're kind of like dictating a little bit, right? Driving the bus, and now at 29, it's kind of like, okay, what time you want to practice?
Yeah.
Is that sort of similar to how you do it, Venus? Because the last couple of years, you already get the Venus seem like, oh, she was just floating, she was just doing her thing.
I think it's, definitely when they're younger, you're kind of like, okay, we need to do this, we need to hit twice, we need to work on this, and then it turns into like, do you want to hit twice? Do you want to, and they're driving, you're kind of like, this is what we should do, and you kind of get the answer pretty quick, or you get a stare, and okay, we're not going to do that. So, but it's definitely changed, working with Jessica Pegula, and it's changed. I mean, she's hard worker, young, has got that, she's got a little, she's had some success, so she's been there, and now she's hungry. She's even hungrier because she's gotten a little piece of, that winning tournament and doing well. So it's different, yeah.
Yeah, when they listen, they have success, and they start listening more.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I want to lose weight, it's like it doesn't matter what it is I'm doing. Right. If I lose the first 5-10 pounds, I want to keep doing that, whether that was the right thing to do or not. But Jessica's great. So
how'd that come about? Because when I travel on tour, my wife gives me tons of stuff. Right? Oh, I'm at home with the kids. You're out there living your best life, and I always say it's not quite living my best life. It's like 24/7 work, right?
Yeah.
So, you stop with Venus, I'm like, okay, David's gonna finally be able to sit at home and chill and relax, and then you pop back out again. Was that a decision? Was like, maybe I wanna stay home for a little bit?
I did for like 4 months, and then it's like, I think it's kind of time to get a job, you need to start getting on the road again. But, my kids were younger then, so it was tougher to travel. And now, instead of, hey, when are you coming home? They're still asking for that, the money. They just want the money now, But, it's a little easier to travel, but it was funny because all your friends would always be like, it's like you're living a dream. You're living the party. It's party on the road all the time. And I'm like, man, it's not like that. Okay, we go to the courts. It's like Groundhog Day every day. You're waking up, 2 hits, and by the time it's 6, 7 o'clock, you're tired. You just want to get some dinner and, wake up and do it again.
So what about just made you come out, right? Because for me, it was like I was at home. I was like, if I go back out, it had to be a special opportunity, right? Or the same person.
Right. I think, being away, I kind of got hungry again. I wanted to kind of get somebody young, that was going to kind of be that sponge that, wanted to learn, and we could kind of, learn together and, talk it over. But, I think I got a call from somebody that worked for her family that, I haven't talked to in 25 years, and I don't even go on Facebook, and he Facebook messaged me and said, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm kind of looking for a job. And he was like, you want to come down and kind of do like a little trial thing? And went down, and the chemistry, we got along, it was 2 weeks, and it just clicked, and I thought she worked hard. I thought she had potential. And, that kind of like made me hungry, made me motivated and wanted to do it.
I always laugh at when it's a trial, because the player thinks it's a trial. And the coach is also like, I'm trying it out too, see if I like it.
You're just praying they win a few matches during that trial.
Right. Because it helps you in negotiating power, right?
Right. If they lose a few matches, it's probably not going to go.
That's right. So you've had the opportunity to coach in 2 decades, right? Early 2000 teens, right? And now 2022. What do you think the difference is, if there is a difference between then and now?
The depth is, I think, a lot stronger. Girls are stronger, they're hitting the ball harder, that's for sure. There's not many easy first round matches. I mean, you got to come to play, and if you're not feeling great, you're not ready to play, you might be going home the next day. And I think back then it was, Venus and Serena, they were so dominant, it was like you didn't even have to worry to the quarterfinals. And, it got tougher and tougher and tougher over the last 10 years. And I just think it's like you got to come and play your best tennis right away, first round. So
I mean, they're like bigger, stronger, faster, hitting the ball big.
Yep.
And I think as a coach, one of the disadvantages to like a seasoned player is the younger players are better earlier in the process and have played fewer matches on, like, let's say, Hawkeye court.
Sure.
So it's much harder to scout
right.
a young player.
And
right?
They're fearless.
And they're
fearless.
And your player's old, veteran, and scared to death to be the one to lose to this little kid.
I haven't seen this player, and that's when we got to come up with some type of game plan. Hopefully it works, and they'll look over, you told me to do this, and it's not working, their backhand's better. But probably the fearless part of it, you get the young girls that come out there and they're in, good shape. I mean, they're hitting strong, and they have nothing to worry. Their ranking's not up there, so they're not worried about defending points and winning. So they're just cracking the ball, going for crazy, unrealistic shots, and they're making them, and that's what can make them dangerous.
Yeah, and the players looking at you like, you didn't tell me she could do that. I'm like, she's gonna make that 2 out of 10 times.
Right.
It's not like something I would write on a
Exactly.
scouting report.
Exactly.
So I noticed that Venus, when they could have on-court coaching, she never used it.
No.
What was that decision like? Did you say, hey, Venus, some of these matches are getting a little tougher, we're getting a little older, maybe you need a little help making it out of 1 or 2?
Yeah, they were like, I could count on one hand that she maybe used it. And I would always be like, it's free information. You can take it, use it, you can throw it away, let it go in one ear, out the other, but it's free information. But, they got away with that, which the on-court coaching, which I think was probably a good thing, just because, you're trying to have like a good conversation with your player, and here they got you mic'd up, you're on TV, your player's frustrated, they probably want to cuss at you or what's going on, and it's on TV, and you can't have a real conversation with your player. So it's probably good they got rid of that, and now you can pretty much coach. You can say stuff from the sides, but it still isn't that like, okay, here we gotta do this a little more and that a little more, and have a nice conversation. So, but yeah, she didn't use it too much. It was more like, I'm gonna do this my way, and I'm gonna win my way, and if I lose,
it's still your fault.
It's still my fault. Yeah, you gotta take for sure.
You take the lumps.
That's right.
Well, this has been great. I mean, obviously we get a chance to chat all the time, but it was great to have you on the show. I appreciate you. Good luck with your player, except on the days you play us. I think you owe me a drink.
That's right.
I think you owe me a drink from Miami.
I do.
You made more money that week than I did. So dinner's on you.
All right. Anytime.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Thank you.